I grew up around being in studios and stuff like that, but I never really thought I wanted to do this. My dad's been in the business for about 40 years, and he's won numerous Emmy Awards. And he was doing a shoot in Myrtle Beach, and they needed a third utility man. And I was in college, and I wanted to become a cop. So there was the opening in the House of Blues, and he said, well, can you come down and be a utility man? The opening act was the Blues Brothers, so we were right up in front of the stage, and I just got enamored by everything. I said, you know what, this is the path I want to go, and that's where I ended up. I started here at a local TV station, and then from there I jumped from here and I went into New York City and started working for a crew company there. So we worked for CNN, Dateline, MTV, so it was a good learning experience. It was a great move. After I was in New York for about 4 years, 9/11 happened, and I worked during 9/11 for a while for Larry King. Inside Edition called. I said, okay, I'll take the job, and I worked for another 4 years for them. And I always tried to make everything I shot on my shoulder smooth, but I always wanted to do Steadicam. I was always enamored by wearing all the gear. Growing up, I was a catcher. Throughout my whole life, I caught in college, so I was always used to wearing a lot of equipment. When I left Inside Edition, I came down here, made a career move, opened a restaurant. I was in that business for 3 years, sold it, and I had the opportunity to go back in the business. And I said, you know what, this will be my opportunity to go buy all the equipment, because you need to buy the equipment to do Steadicam. You can't rent it or anything like that. You need to own it, and I bought it, and then that's when I started doing the Steadicam. The training that you go through to get certified, there's a lot of different things you got to learn how to do. You can't just throw it on because it's 60 pounds worth of equipment. The main thing you got to learn how to do is balance it. There's a lot of things you need to learn how to do, and it's something that you need to practice almost every day. I was in a car accident about 5 years ago, crushed my right leg, and I was spent a year and a half in a wheelchair. So I was looking for a way to continue to work but not put a lot of pressure on my leg. And then there's a guy named Chris Fawcett, who's a legend in this business. I contacted him, and he said, well, I just came up with something new. So he said, look at this will help you, maybe you should try this. So that's what gave me the drive to say, hey, there's another way for me to move around. The advantages of having a Segway is you just dress the Steadicam operator up, get them on the Segway, and go. Especially for a small budget feature that doesn't have a lot of money to spend on dollies, tracks, grips. This is basically one guy, one rig, and you could do the shot over and over and over again. It's a different replacement for a dolly that's more flexible. It's something new that most operators don't do right now. It is dangerous. Definitely one of the reasons why a lot of guys don't do it. You know, Steadicam's anywhere between 60 and 80 grand. They're not going to put their gear at risk of destroying it from falling off a Segway, because you're missing the main part of the handlebars. But if you do it right, you could get great shots out of it. So I did all my workshops, did all my practicing, so I'm back up to where I should be to do jobs now. So yeah, I'm open to do all kinds of stuff. I like to do all the independent films, commercials. Anywhere there's work, I'll go.